I will say, like, we're in Solace 1 right now, and it's probably like, and I hate to say it, it's just my they're all fantastic, but I think this is my least favorite one. If I were to pick a Solace right now,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like your least favorite child, though. You still love your least favorite child.
yeah, you can't choose favorites, right?
Yeah, you can
But
choose favorites.
eternally you do, you know. You choose your favorite one, and that one gets to go to college, right? Like,
Exactly. That one gets to inherits all your Kopi and NFTs. Welcome to Around the Corn, presented by the Knights Guild. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, because getting the likes and subscriptions is the best part of our day. And we've got a lot of likes and subscriptions lately. We really appreciate that. If you want to hear us speculate wildly on something in-game, throw your questions in the comments. And next episode, as always, we will pretend to know the answer. Follow us and the Knights Guild on X. You can learn a ton about the Knights Guild on Discord and the Guild website, and the staking website, not to mention. All the links you need are in the description. I'm your host, Faux Hubris. As always, I'm joined by the man who's always flying high, even when his jetpack malfunctions, Eddie Z. Eddie, how's it going, my friend?
hey, doing well, man. It's been a minute, man. Right? It's just to have the same vibe and not have to do interviews. But I'm real thankful that we got to do the ones with our last two guests.
Yes. I mean, both Rob and PB were super gracious. It was kind of crazy how it worked out, because we had the PB interview planned because we thought Solace might be a month, and then it was like PB and then Solace and then Rob. And like, we are so grateful for both of them. Rob, especially, thank you for taking the time to kind of tune in to us. It really was kind of like the coming out party for our channel, and it helped us get a lot of new subscriptions and likes. And so we really are so grateful for Rob for that.
I mean, we were definitely geeking. I mean, I know we were trying to hold our composure, and it was a good interview, and we got a lot of alpha. So people should definitely tune in again to review that, because I feel like there was some good alpha that's still relevant. I think that has,
it's like kind of like macro alpha, not like, what's going to be this in the game and how you're going to do this, but like the macro picture. It was really nice to talk to Rob about that and get like his perspective. As always, it's just a fun conversation. And hopefully, we're going to always be in game doing what we do, but we also are going to hopefully have the opportunity to talk to more people and about more things in the future, because I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to celebrate this game, and we want to celebrate it as much as we can.
Yeah, and seriously, we probably would have wanted like a 2 to 3 hour time with him, right? Like, I'm still finding times like in these like Kopi cafes, like watch parties that they do, that I'm still finding questions that to ask them.
That's been happening to you too, where you have questions remorse, where you're like, oh, I should have asked that question.
Exactly. So I mean, I'm glad that they do these Q&As and watch parties. It's typically Fridays. I don't think they're going to do it this next week.
But did you see that thing about the raid parties?
I saw that. Parties? Yeah, and it's going to be including David. So that's even coming even more from the source. So definitely check that out. For people who don't know, it's on the Discord right now. It was in the minor announcements, so check that and minor announcements out. There, and just read that post.
Yeah, and we're also gonna be anything that's good in there. I think Eddie and I already talked about. We're gonna be recapping that stuff. So Eddie, I know you've kind of had your moment in the sun too in the last Kopi Cafe, because people may not know this, but like everyone in the Knights Guild who helped build like those maps were contributed, but you were kind of like the workhorse behind it, and your efforts were kind of rewarded there in the Kopi Cafe, where they showed those maps, and they look beautiful, man. Great job on that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and also thanks to everybody in the Knights Guild, and it was like definitely a team effort. We had we were really organized in how we wanted to go ahead and it's still being updated today, because it's still changing. I mean, and I feel like
those maps are going to be updated forever.
Yeah, I think that's something even I knew, that it's never going to be the same. One thing that was to understand what the districts look like, right? So the colors represent each of the districts, and if you zoom in, because it's a high resolution map, you can actually blow it up pretty big, and you can see the borders of each of the districts, so that way you can.
How did you get that? How did you get I didn't know the border information was out there. Did you just use the town borders to figure it out?
I physically walked the entire all of the Solaces, all 3 Solaces. That was all me just basically walking, and walking everywhere. And of course, it was a lot of it's very difficult because sometimes, there are dead
Wow.
ends, and also it's harder when it's nighttime as well. So, the border part was a little bit more, um, a lot more tedious for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I got it done, and
So
it
that
might
that
evolve
explains
too.
why I saw you always in game, and I didn't always know what you were just walking around the map. I got a good story for you. That I was, as I am wont to do with my beard and my hair, I went to the barber shop. Was it, I guess, yesterday? I showed a couple guys in the barber shop the Knights Guild trailer that they're doing for the competition that will be
Ooh,
over by the time this airs. Or
ooh.
and both my barber and another one of the barbers who was waiting for his next appointment, they watched it. They went on Uniswap to convert some ETH to Kopi.
Oh, really?
It was they both did their first buy of Kopi. So it was they're not on Cardano, so they had to buy it with ETH probably. But
Yeah.
it was I was pretty proud of that for the Knights Guild, and the reaction to it, because when they saw the graphics, they were pretty astounded by it, and they had not seen a Web3 game that looked like that at any point in time. So
Oh man, that's exciting actually to hear. I'm glad that, and this is just at people who have never even heard about the game, so it just goes to
I've been
show
telling
that.
them about it for months, but now that they could see it, it made a big difference. So
See, there you go. It's all about the deliverables, right? So as long as they see this type of quality, I mean, it's huge. And right now, just so everybody knows, our setting here is Quarry side. This is in Solace One, in like the northwestern quadrant
yeah,
of Solace One. Right now, we'll put a map out.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is basically one of my favorites ones because of clearly because of this particular view. This is kind of why we wanted to go and look around, and also the how the land plots and the kind of like the scenery kind of looks. It looks really nice. It's one of the rarer um towns that are high in elevation, and because it's in the mountains.
Hmm.
I mean, it kind of goes with the name, right? Quarry side.
Yeah.
And it looks really, really clean. I feel like this is probably, I do believe this is probably going to be one of the locations that probably won't get sold out in terms of like claiming, because it does seem like there's less resources here based on the
Mhm.
map currently.
I mean, maybe there's an advantage there because we know that they're balancing out the resources. They're going to be adding more resources. So
Hmm.
maybe if this is available, the land grab happens, and they haven't done that yet. Maybe this area will be, you could grab it and then all of a sudden realize that it was much better than people thought.
Yeah,
Speaking of like that kind of stuff, man, did you see the list for the NFTs that are coming? So it's
yeah.
kind of crazy here. I'm just gonna read you off a couple of
Oh
them.
yeah, and it
So
sparked
they
some
got
conversation in the Discord too, so we'll talk
yeah.
about
Do you
that
want to
as
talk
well.
about that first? Like
No, no,
so
go through the
yeah.
list. Go through the list. It's
Okay.
fine. Go
So
through the list.
we got the zero G jetpack.
Hmm.
We got the
Interesting.
yeah. So it looks like there's two
There's
jet,
like
or maybe it's this, no, this zero G jetpack Solace. So I don't know if that's different, or if it's somehow similar, but like you're just getting one with USDC and base. No, they're both USDC based, so they're different.
Yeah,
You have
so
the
I'm kind of
scrapyard
curious.
jetpack.
Yeah, I'm curious what the difference is between those two. Like, what it says jetpack, is it maybe one is just, don't understand why would there be two different jetpacks considering it says the same USDC and base.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm
So, I mean, I think this is a good time to bring up something that came up on Discord. So,
mm,
one thing that came up on Discord was that there was not a Cardano jetpack mint, and people were kind of disappointed. Like I don't know how much work it is to get crypto onto a different platform with all the options there are now, the different ecosystem. Like you can find a way, but some people don't like doing that. They want to stay in the ecosystem, and so there were people disappointed that there was no Cardano mint. But as
mhm.
is the case with this team in particular, when there are valid concerns in the community, they get addressed. So Eddie, I'm going to read real quick to you what Rob said on Discord.
Yeah, well, and before you read that, hold on. Like, I do want to say that, coming from my perspective, and this is just what I think, and I'm not part of the team, but you would also have to go ahead and consider liquidity, right? You want to strengthen the Kopi token, and
Yeah.
and this is all it sparked definitely sparked conversation, and so I just wanted to kind of clear that. Like, I feel like it's all about strengthening the Kopi token. It's not about getting away from Cardano. I mean, it's not. I mean, some people have even have put an argument out there that's said stuff like, well, if I'm on Cardano, I want to, if they're minting something, I want Cardano, I want to be able to have the same things on Cardano. It's like, well, you kind of have to put yourself in the shoes of people who own ETH, Sol, Polygon, USDC, because they are in the opposite end of that. They haven't been able to get any assets on their chains that are on Cardano right now, like
but also that's the whole. That
was
was you knew that this project was going to be cross chain from the very beginning, and then this is what cross chain means.
Yeah. So go right ahead. With Rob's response here.
Okay. He says not announcing a jetpack available on Cardano was an oversight. He always does this. He always takes ownership of a mistake, and when he addresses, I love that. And we will correct this ASAP. Long term, how you buy items will be simplified, and that includes more with fiat cards, not credit cards. In the background, Kopi will be bought from CEXs. Always feel awkward saying sex, but
centralized exchanges.
Centralized exchanges, and the item is paid for invisibly by circulating Kopi. Change does cause worries for some, but this is a positive evolution. We are not switching everything to Base. We are expanding the reach. Base has massive daily volume, which everybody in the community wants. We want more liquidity. We want more volume and user growth compared to Cardano. The essential NFTs, if there is such a thing, will be available on both chains, either same items or equivalents. It is also important to us to have exclusive items on both chains. This is great for blockchain and will grow Cardano and Base wallets. More players means more people will see other assets such as land and vehicles, and eventually some will be tempted enough to buy on both chains. Wallets like Lace and eventually some familiar Cardano ones will allow multi-chain, and then everything will be in one wallet. Sometimes you have to imagine the future. We have to do this all the time. Our player profile already supports multi-chain wallets, and the game integrates them seamlessly. We are here to support you all. Remember, you do not have to buy any item to play the game long term, and no one is forcing anyone to learn Base. However, when you discover how easy Base is and how you can onboard easily, you should see this as really positive new era for us. The majority of new people in this bull run will come to centralized exchanges, of which Coinbase is the largest, and they market their wallet like crazy. What are your thoughts on that? What Rob had to say, Eddie?
I think it's very easy. I have also expressed this on the general chats in the Cornucopias Discord as well. It's not as hard as people think. I'm like 90% on Cardano is how I see it. Yeah. It's hard. Change is hard. I get it. I understand. And you feel safer, but I mean, it's not like you can't get scammed on Cardano either. You click the wrong link and you sign a transaction without verifying it. Your stuff is gone, right? Yeah. So, I mean, it's cheap from my understanding as well. The fees are really, really low, and it's really, really fast. And there's also people in Cornucopia's community as well that have posted stuff that, like, listen, there's volume significantly more. I think there's a 10x volume in Base right now in terms of transactions with NFTs right now. So versus, like, I think it was somebody compared it, like, it was like 5,000 ADA versus, or 5,000 ADA transactions versus like 145,000 or something like that. Yeah. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on the numbers, but there's like high volume there in terms of transactions. It's not that hard. I know Matt also posted a video. Yeah,
I just pulled it up. I was going to read it so we
could. Not even just that post, but also. Yeah, there's a video that he had created back in February that we should probably put up as well. If you maybe a link, or I don't know if we'll put a link into the description or of our video. About this,
so you have to tell me what it is.
Yeah, there's a video out there, just a quick, like, I don't know, maybe 2-minute video of how to just, if you have a MetaMask wallet. Yeah, if you have a MetaMask wallet, it's just a simple way of just how to add the Base network into your MetaMask
I think it's
wallet.
Like one click. I think it's just a scroll down menu and you click on Base.
Correct. And all you have to do is add the USDC token. Now, keep in mind, people, I was confused about this as well. It's not about the Coinbase centralized exchange platform. That's not what we're talking about, because there's been confusion as well, even in the Knights Guild, that, hey, I won't be able to mint the thing. We're not, in my country, doesn't support Coinbase. No, it's not the Coinbase platform, decentralized exchange. We're talking about the Base network. It's a L2 ETH network that you just have to access on your MetaMask wallet, and it's available for everybody. So keep that in mind as well.
A lot of times in this world that we're in with crypto Web3 gaming, like the team is reluctant to give you the whole story, and sometimes you have to maybe try to read between the lines, or to like really listen to what they're saying, and sometimes they're really clear about it too. And I think that was the case with Matt, with something he said in tokenomics chat. He said, replying to one of the questions, he answered, Coinbase, for example, wants to see utility over anything else. I know I've theorized that there's like some kind of bias against Cardano, but maybe it's just because the projects on Cardano are not far enough along where there's real utility. So if Base wants to see utility of everything else, he says there is no listing fee like the others. We have to showcase that our token is being used for something. So what better way to showcase that the token is being used for something than having people on Base with Kopi buy NFTs that they can then use in a game that is going to be released very soon. Like so like if I think it's obvious that they're just trying to check these boxes so we can get what we've all wanted for years. We've been talking about a Coinbase listing, and so it makes a lot of sense that they would do that. I'm excited.
Yeah, just keep. I guess just for all you Cardano maxis out there, just keep it in check. Let go of that pride a little bit, just for now, just because it's not about the Kopi, it's not about the ADA token, it's about the Kopi token. It's about strengthening that liquidity, and it's strengthening the coin, the utility, like you just mentioned. So just keep that in mind, and stuff like we're talking about also interoperability, right? That's something that's been talked about since Charles Hoskinson's whiteboard thing, right? It's technology that takes quite a while to develop, right? That's what we're all here about, and it's about utility. It's about also at some point in the future, you won't even have to need to know what chain you're using.
Right.
These assets are from, right? So it's going to be such a seamless process between moving your lamp plot from selling it on Cardano on a JPEG store, or selling it on OpenSea, or Magic Eden. It's going to be
probably all on some marketplace that they build themselves,
and that's the thing too, because behind the scenes, that marketplace that they're developing in Cornucopias is gonna be behind the scenes being done basically through those markets. I mean, you won't even know how it's being done. So again, it's a lot of things to come. It's just we're also speculating as well, but I'm pretty sure we're probably saying the right things, even though we're not part of the team and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But that's kind of the goal.
Hey man, we speculate. That's what we do here. The team can't say it, so we make it up and give people to listen to, something to listen to. Getting back to what's going to be for sale in these upcoming mints, I'm realizing that I may not be able to get at least one of everything because there's so much stuff coming. I mean, well, but like, what do you think just from the jetpacks? If you remember, you got the Solace jetpack, the 0G jetpack, the 0G Solace, and then the scrapyard. Do you think the scrapyard is like the cheapest one, and it like malfunctions sometimes and just shoots you off into like the side of a cliff?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious as to how all this works. I couldn't even speculate what the scrapyard one is. I don't even know. And there's a cargo backpack as well.
Yeah. So the military backpack is what is that what you're talking?
No, wait. There's a scrapyard. Oh, you know what? I think that's just the brand. Scrapyard.
Oh, maybe you're right. The scrapyard. Maybe you're right. Like, but maybe that's like the Ford Pinto of jetpacks. Where it's like.
Because like, look, if you look down the list, there's a Scrapyard Racer, which is a brand of a new vehicle coming out on USDC/Base.
So I bet you that's going to look really cool if it's like, scrapyards like different types of metal and stuff. Like, maybe they just bang together pieces of like other vehicles that we already have in existence for it.
like a little bit awesome. Like a little rundown here and there.
Yeah, like you got a bubble jet, glass casing with like an F9R like front end, and it's just all like mixed mass pieces. That would be epic. We're coming into golden hour right now with the sun coming around this mountain here. It's kind of looking cool. Also, we all know the F9R is coming. And
Mhm.
I think people are excited. We've gotten some purple track information, which is exciting. The Bubble Jet Super Platinum, that's going to be that's the one thing that's on Ada Cardano. That was the leak for the I think that was in the Kopi Cafe, that little emblem. It was a vehicle.
Yeah, the Bubble Jet
So
Super Phantom.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Super
think I'm
Phantom. Yeah.
very
So
curious how that's gonna look and how it's gonna drive, compared to the other vehicles. Yeah, I'm very excited about that one, to be
yeah,
honest.
maybe Bubble just getting into the more high end vehicles.
Keep in mind, like, even though I'm trying to diversify a little bit, not too much. If I get ADA as an option to mint, I will mint ADA
Yeah,
100% of the time. Like, that's just me. I'm sorry, but that's just how I am. I will support their cause of trying to mint on other chains, but
me too.
keep that in mind for me.
But
Mm.
I am
but
ADA.
also this
I
is
like
so
minting.
early. These are going to be the rarest NFTs. So like for me, I mean, for the first year or
Yeah,
two, I probably will partake in every single mint. I mean, as long as I can afford it, you know. But
good point. Good point.
and then as it gets bigger and bigger, and then maybe I'll be more discerning. But like while we're here and we're just a small group, for me it makes sense to just grab it all and then see what's worth something later down the road and what's useful down the road. And so
Yeah, yeah, and there also have been discussions about the pricing, right? I mean, it's kind of go back and forth. I mean, I understand because certain games are what $60, $70, sometimes $100 for certain editions, and
mhm,
so yeah, I can understand people's talk about lowering the pricing on certain assets. I'm curious. We don't know the pricings on these,
yeah.
but what do you think about how the pricing? Should they be more in the $20 to $50 range? Should it be in the
I
$50 to $100 range? Like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious what we think for these because like most assets, right? Like in Fortnite, I think of Fortnite as like a skin would probably be like 10 to 15 bucks sometimes, or like a pack for like 20 bucks. What do you think about that?
Well, I know they've mentioned Fortnite's economy so many times that I think that they're probably whatever they're going to do is going to be comparable to like Fortnite, right? So like, and you probably know better than I do what those price ranges are. But I do think this being and I don't know if Fortnite has things that are like in the $1,000 range and things like that. I do think this being Web3, like you do maybe have the ability to go like a bigger range from like the low stuff up to the high stuff, but for me, I just want to make sure that they are uh, they're setting a price that their research tells them is optimal for them to generate the most revenue, to generate the most trading in the economy. And I know they've done that research, and so I think that that's what they're setting the price to. And as we've always said, and you especially, Eddie, is that where we talk about like you can't make everybody happy, and if you try to make everybody happy,
Hmm.
then you're making a game that no one's going to like. So the
Hmm.
fact that some people are unhappy about pricing tells me that, well, they're probably picking the right price, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, it's because yeah, you can't make it all accessible to everybody. I mean, these have to be. I mean, because there. I mean, you have to also consider that there will be a free to play option of these particular assets, right?
yeah,
So people will be able to earn a jetpack,
right.
a backpack or certain vehicles out there by playing the game. So you have to also understand that too. I mean, so it's
And we
just
can't.
there's a balance, right? And Rob even said it during our interview, right? It's dangerous to think about, right? It's just really hard to balance all that out.
Yeah,
It's
it's gonna be. I think it's probably gonna be a lot of try. That's why he said he has the levers to pull to be able to change the economy and things
correct.
like that. Eddie, there was some other Discord information that came to light recently, and I wanted to share it because I think this is a lot of people. We've talked a lot about marketing
Hmm.
on this on our podcast and what marketing looks like, and we all have a lot of questions about that. And there's this sense in the community that marketing is not being done, which you and I have pushed back on because we see the way it's just maybe not the type of marketing people are expecting or what they usually get in a crypto project and a Web3
Yeah.
projects. But
Yeah, we're still waiting to get into the Super Bowl, right? So that's kind
yeah, right.
of
I
typical
did. I
commercial.
did make that joke. Is like sometimes I feel like people won't be happy unless they see a Super Bowl ad for cornucopias. So like, you know. There is, as far as I know, there is no Super Bowl ad planned. But Matt, the marketing director, did go into tokenomics, and he's been great about this, by the way, answering questions there in tokenomics. People don't all either you frequent that channel or you don't. And if you don't, you maybe go in there and just keep an eye out, because Matt does drop some good information. But I wanted to read what he had to say. There's different points here, so maybe I'll ask you about each of them. But he's like, someone asked for a marketing plan. Apparently, not sure where that was. I was lagged out. But anyways, he goes through the different things that they're going to do. The first thing he says, we have 13 new game assets, which we talked about, coming to the market, which will be rotated into our main website with branded banners. We will have all of these items available in the next build: vehicles, clothing, items, jetpacks, and more. All but one item will be minted on base, which will allow me to run giveaway campaigns with a broader base of KOLs. And if you don't know what KOLs are, they're basically it's like key influencers in the community, and so it's kind of what people in crypto projects use to talk to, get their message out, to attract new eyes. 5 of these items will be sold in Kopi. We will continue to add more and more game assets to the marketplace. So we've already talked about that, Eddie, but that's pretty. I mean, that's interesting to think about that as part of the marketing, that the assets that they're selling is marketing in of itself, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't see why people still think that there's no much marketing going on. I mean, that basically is. I mean, there's. I mean, you can always make more suggestions on what he should be doing, but I mean, there is a plan in place,
Yeah.
right?
Also, like, what we know that the servers are not up to standard right now. Like, so like if you go market to and you bring in 10,000 new players, and the servers just start crashing all the time, like what have you done except make your game look terrible? So, they have a roadmap internally, or I'm sure, where they'd be like, okay, when this gets done, we can start marketing. And that's they've been building to that for years, and I'm excited that we're right on the threshold of it. So the next thing Matt says I'm working with multiple third-party marketing services that have a network of KOLs, and plan to target the Asian and South American markets with heavy focus on the upcoming asset sales and build release. So I've actually been doing some research for my own personal reasons into KOLs, and I will tell you that the out there, it's really kind of like a mixed bag. People feel like KOLs don't do much for you. And then some people, there are some KOLs that, are reputable, that actually, aren't trying to like pump and dump your project. And I got the sense from Matt and some questions that I asked him is that they're being also very thoughtful about the KOLs that they're going after. It's not like you don't want to just like buckshot a KOLs, because what ends up happening is you end up paying a bunch of KOLs who have like, 10,000 followers on Twitter, but like, 6 or 7,000 were actually bots. So like, you have to be really discerning when you pick KOLs. You have to, do your due diligence. And he did say that they have certain metrics that they're looking at to pick the KOLs. So I don't know. Are you excited about targeting other countries? Because they've talked about that in the past, and it looks like they're getting ready to do it.
Yeah, I think that's something we need. I mean, it's especially like a market such as like, the Philippines and like Brazil. Like those are huge. Like people love that, especially in other countries outside of the US or the UK and all that. So I think that's a smart move. I think that's something that we definitely need. Because I mean, it's all about breaking barriers, and I think that's on the right track.
Yeah, and maybe, who knows? You and I are gonna have to learn like Vietnamese or something to be able
Yeah,
to.
I mean, I speak a little bit of Espanol, so I mean, I get my Spanish people out in
I know, right?
Argentina out there, because they adopted ADA recently as well. So I think Argentina might be in the play here at some point.
Yeah. So going on to this list, which is, what I actually just brought up, server scaling is nearly ready, which will allow us to onboard new players, right? So like, how much marketing do you really want to do if you're not able to like, functionally bring on new players? And now they're getting there. So that's onboarding new players. The technical aspect of it is also marketing, right? Like that's part of the marketing plan.
Mm-hmm.
We have a pending official listing of Cornucopias on Twitch. This one I thought was really interesting. Once listed, we will launch Twitch bounties. I don't know much about that. I don't use Twitch, but I'm guessing that's something pretty important. Bounties for streamers, incentivizing them to show our game and earn rewards based on milestones. Access passes can be given away along with game assets. This will attract new gamers organically. I want the organic marketing. I want people to see the game, try the game, love the game. That's I think the best kind of marketing. What do you
Yeah,
feel about that, Eddie?
yeah, because I mean, something I don't want is what Ubisoft is doing right now, which has been a big no no, and everybody's calling Ubisoft out right now. I don't know if you know about this, but with their most recent Assassin's Creed game, they're straight botting. Now, is it Ubisoft that's doing it? Can't really say, but they're basically they're posting a trailer of their more recent Assassin's Creed, and it's all just positive reviews, but everybody has like everybody's username is literally first name, last name, and four numbers. And it's like everybody's like, this is the best game. This is a great one. This is going to be amazing. And it's all the exact same thing. And all of those profiles are like were created within like the same time frame of like 2 years ago.
So
So
it's
it's
John Smith, then Bill Smith, then Sarah
one, two, three,
Sanders.
four. Yeah, like exactly. They're all like different number. It's the
Okay.
same, and it's like that's what you don't want. You want something that's organic. And people are calling Ubisoft out on that as well. So that's something you don't want. You want something that's organic. You want people to be commenting on it. So whenever you see these types of things, I mean, whenever you see Matt posting about, hey guys, this is what's coming out from these influencers, be there to support. Be there to give your own
Oh
opinions
yeah.
and about it. So and
I'm definitely gonna go on Twitch and get an account there. I mean, I have an account, but I'm gonna when the streamers are doing it, I want to go on there and be like, oh my god, I'm so happy you're showing this game, and subscribe and let them know that it's paying off for them as well.
Yeah, you gotta be there. So it's about participation as well. So it's all about word of mouth, and you are part of that media push as
Yeah,
well. It's not just about us getting an influencer. It makes no difference if the influencer is posting if it's not being retweeted, posted, and liked for the algorithms. So
yeah.
just keep that in mind, people.
And if you do that and people are getting more popular because they're showing the game, then that's going to bring in free streamers who want to do it too, right? So
Correct.
you're
Like
definitely
us.
helping. Yeah, like yeah, like us. Yeah, we'll have to get our around the corn stream account. I do want to start doing lives, but that's another topic for another day.
That's another
Um,
topic, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
so then we all know about the Epic Game listing, and I want to point out that is also marketing, right? Like the work of the marketing team, they're having these conversations. Like it's not David who the lead. I forget what his new title is, but the creative director, he's not on the phone with Epic Games like talking about what the release is going to look like, right? Like this is part of the marketing team's job, and it's not like it's like, oh, you can go on Twitter and see that them doing it. But so like when they say that they're doing marketing, I imagine like a big part of it is the groundwork that you have to lay in order to have a game put on Epic Games, and all the conversations and meetings that go into that. So we got partnership collabs. I'm continuing outreach to as many communities and projects that make sense. I'm in the process of applying to be a partner at YGG. I don't know what that is. Do you know what Yield Guild Games are?
Yield Guild Games, no.
I wonder if that's like a Web3 thing, where it's because it's got the word yield in it. So like, I wonder if that's like. But
Huh.
anyways, we'll do some research on that. And maybe
We'll have to
we'll
look. Yeah,
do a
we'll have to
little
look
dive
into that. Yeah,
into
I'm
it.
not too familiar with
Uh,
that term.
We also just joined Alice in Crypto, which is a great Thai gaming community that is growing fast. There are many others in discussion. If you have suggestions for potential partnerships, please ping me. And he actually, in this conversation that he had in Tokenomics, people did throw out some suggestions, and he
Hmm.
started following him on Twitter to keep an eye on him. So
Okay.
that's exciting. I mean, like, I think that's obviously you and I wouldn't see that. We're not in Singapore. We're not like, so we don't, probably don't even completely aware of that. So
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, it's one thing to like suggest. It's one thing also to suggest like these streamers, right? Which I think that it's great to get the streamers that we think are organically building their own community as well, and but it's also another thing to post stuff like, hey, let's get LeBron James or Steve Curry to promote our game. So like, I mean, we're not there yet, right? So like, I mean, the reason why LeBron James is in Fortnite is because of its name and its
yeah,
following, right? So
it's also because he's playing it too, right? Like he's not gonna like I guarantee you, like LeBron's kids are playing Fortnite, and he's like, and
yeah,
he is playing it too. So
yeah, I mean, let's be a little bit realistic, right? Let's make sure we get some good ones that are out there and organic. That's just my opinion, right? But just let's just yeah, keep
I mean,
be
if we can't get LeBron James, we get Caitlin Clark, the the WNBA LeBron James.
yeah, that's come up as well. I mean, or Donald Trump. I don't know. Maybe we should just.
He's like, why haven't you reached out to Donald Trump to advertise this game yet? Shut.
I got the best people working on this game. It's got cornucopias. Yeah.
I mean, can you he wouldn't say cornucopias. He'd be like cornucopia.
Cornucopia. The cornucopia game. It's a really good game. Josh and Rob are such good founders. I know them. They know the best people.
They're the best people.
They're the best people. I know them all.
Oh my god!
I'm lost in this bush. I can't see anything. It's so dark now.
I can't wait to hear your Harris impersonation coming up next episode.
Oh god.
And like that, it's magic. We are in the daylight because Eddie and I don't like shooting the podcast in the night.
What do you mean? They gave us the dev tools. We just decided to skip a few hours.
Yeah.
Thanks to Rob and the movie, it's like movie magic, really.
With the magic of editing, we are 8 hours later. We are back here where we left off. So I'm going to go back on that list there, Eddie. The next thing on the list from Matt was to continue working with our paid content creators, Ivan on Tech, Jesus Martinez, Black Mamba. I'm guessing that's not Kobe Bryant. I don't know who that is. Crypto Crow and others. So, we're all familiar with those people, most of them at least. And that's, they've definitely done a good job letting the Cardano community know about us, because I don't think at this point you could probably, anyone who's in the Cardano community who's open to being here is probably already here, because at this point, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they're making great partnerships. I think everybody has the right idea, and honestly, the people who they've hired, are in terms of like the influencers are have a good head on their shoulders.
They don't even mention Josh and Fareed. I would think of them maybe even. They got to certainly be considered in that bunch there.
Yeah, that's true. Man, see, this is why I like Quarry. Sorry, just to pivot.
Yeah.
I love this view. This is why I like Quarry side.
Oh yeah.
And also, like, I was walking around in the darkness earlier, like around the edge of, like, right where if you're looking at my map right now, like right around this edge where the waterfalls are. I'm just showing that right now, but I love the overlook over Riverbend, because this Riverbend is actually very like congested and very like tight knit based on what I'm seeing on the map. Riverbend is just to the east of Quarry Side. So Quarry Side is up above on the cliffs, and then Riverbend is on the right hand side by the three waterfalls that are around here, and they have one fishing spot here in this location where I'm marking. But it just looks really nice. Actually, we probably could go right here and let's follow me real quick, and we'll go this way. Yeah, this way to the east. We should be able to see what I'm talking about.
Wedge,
heading towards Riverbend. And it's just a really nice. You get a lot of really nice.
Oh, this is a great view right here. Look at this view.
Yep, Riverbend is down to our right hand side.
That's I've walked that river before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just this is why I like Quarry Side. All the land behind us is going to be really nice, and at the same time, within Quarry Side, we're going to go over to this marker.
I'm gonna follow you. Well, let's play that video, and then while we're running over there, we'll talk about it. We got some video to show.
Let's go ahead and jump into some of my questions.
Sure.
Many of them are not, so specific. Starting, pretty general. Is Solace done? Like in terms of like land plot locations and places of interest that are on the map, is there more that you guys have to add, or it's not done? Okay.
No. So, the sectors themselves will always take a sort of continuous evolution to some degree. So there's even some art kit stuff that hasn't been added to Solace 1. Like there's going to be an area that has like California, like redwoods and things like that. So you'll have some special interests that'll pop up over time. You'll have different events that are going on that might affect different parts of the world. As for the land plots themselves, those really aren't going to change. Now there is a few bugs where there was some placement issue with some of those, but we're going through bugs and fixing those. So if you see, I saw a lot when I was watching, I think it was the stream with Jupiter. There was one plot that was like really on an angle.
Yeah,
looks like it'd be hard to build on. That will get flattened out quite a bit more. But the buildings that you're placing on these plots also have, so they're not totally like traditional buildings. I would say in a way they're kind of like modules that have struts and things like that. So there's going to be some room to deal with hills and things like that, with stairs to get into the building itself. I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
if they've used other building systems.
I mean, so there's a lot to unpack there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, I mean, I knew that there were some bugs here and there in terms of the land plots placings while we were working on the maps, because some of the land plots aren't there yet. But I like the fact that David's kind of confirming that for the most part, the land plots are pretty much set where they're going to be. Yeah, for the most. I mean, I would assume that there might be some few changes here and there, but I like that we can start really solidifying our decisions in terms of where they're physically located versus resources right now. I think there's a lot of good things. Right, like for instance, right now we're running towards the logging area for East Side, which is why I'm stopping. I'm just showing the map.
I think one of the interesting things from that clip that I thought maybe the most for me interesting is that the buildings are going to be built like in modules, so that you like maybe that's going to make kind of like, even though a lot of these buildings are going to look similar, that it kind of makes it different, where you might build this module on a hill, to fit where you want it better. I just think it's like really smart to have like that option to make the buildings modular.
Yeah, that's actually going to be an interesting concept. I can't wait for the plans to be like laid out and announced as time goes by. But yeah, here we are at the logging station.
Oh man, I want to be able to jump on this tree stump, and there's like a magic invisible wall there. Like it's like it thinks the tree is still there. I think that's a bummer.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what do they call these things?
What? Which
these like logging machine, like
like
machines, or
they're almost like, you ever see like a clip of one of those like things that just rip the tree out of the ground and then just like shave off all the bark and then just like cut it into timber? It's almost like something like that. Like it just feeds in this end and it comes out as maybe like 2x4s.
Very interesting. And it also makes you wonder how we're going to transport these as well, right? Because like it's not like are we just gonna carry these ourselves, like six 2x4s at a time, or what?
I wish you could just do like a 3-hour podcast today, because like in Discord today that there was a bunch of talk about the transportation vehicles that we're not even going to get into.
Oh yeah,
but
there's
like
so much going on in the Discord right now.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Like what a time to be a content creator for Cornucopias, because there's just so much to talk about. You and I could do a 2-hour. We could probably do, if we had the time, 2-hour episodes a week at this point. So
yeah, and it's interesting the way that they're doing it, right? Because like there's more mining, there's more fishing, but they're really trying to control the inventory for the lumber.
I think Rob hinted to why that is, though. Was it in the Kopi Cafe where they said they didn't want people to be able to just kind of strip entire forests, like if you could cut any tree down anywhere, that it was better to be in a location. But I also, and he didn't say this, but I thought it was implied that maybe that these mining sections are going to move, right? Like where like, okay, all these trees right now are chopped down, so then it moves to a different forest. Like if you look to the north right now, you see where all those trees are. Maybe this fence moves when it's been stripped, and then these trees can grow back in like a day or a week or a month or however long it takes.
Yeah, well, even I think even in recent conversations, I think during the watch party they had mentioned that, well, it takes about 100 years for trees to grow. So I don't think we're going to be I don't think I'll be around in 100 years. So there has to be some sort of plan, right? Unless there's something with, in terms of, obviously this is a game, right? So they can kind of write the lore however they want. So maybe
Yeah.
there is a way that they can make trees grow in this time frame,
Yeah,
right?
Genesium fertilizer.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because how did we make all this land happen? You mean to tell me we can't grow trees faster? So,
Well,
so
that was the other thing that David said in that clip was the redwoods are coming. That's going to be exciting for
yeah,
Solace One. Like, because I did wonder if you go around there, there are no like what you would consider what I felt like were like really massive trees, like you like really like you say like 100-year-old, or I mean some of
yeah,
those trees, the redwoods are like I maybe not remember this right, but 1,000+ years old. So
yeah. That's insane. I mean, that's going to be exciting because I will say, like, we're in Solace One right now, and it's probably like, and I hate to say it, it's just they're all fantastic, but I think this is my least favorite one. If I were to pick a Solace right now,
yeah,
I
it's
think
like your least favorite child though. You still love your least favorite child.
yeah, you can't choose favorites, right?
Yeah, you can
But
choose favorites.
eternally you do, you choose your favorite one, and that one gets to go to college, right? Like,
Exactly. That one gets to inherits all your Copian NFTs.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's wrap up with this last set of questions here. Very, very simple. In Copy Cafe 100, you indicated some knowledge about what's coming next with Cornucopias, and I know a lot of that is up for debate. And I won't ask what those things are, partially because I know a little bit about what it is, but I do want to ask, when do you think the community will find out about some of these next steps? Give us an approximate range.
I can say something about it. I can.
I will invite. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I can say something about it. And it's just maybe just like a little bit of hint, and this highly relates to it. What do you guys think about the idea of, getting fresh water from salt water and using the process of desalination? Isn't that cool? There you go. That's your hint for what's coming next. And I guarantee you, whatever you think it is not that. So, yeah. But it is, what I said is absolutely a thing.
You know what's hilarious is knowing what I know. Like, I think I was able to connect some dots there, and it's hilarious that that's what you chose to say about it. Because
we have team members. Like Catherine, you guys saw in a previous Copy Cafe. Mm-hmm. She's learning a little bit about that process. Mm-hmm. So it's there you go. That's all I can say.
That's hysterical. That is great. I love that. Thank you for that. Now, I guess that goes into like what I want to be my very last question of the stream, which is, do you think that the community is going to see this next step coming? Do you think that they will expect it?
I mean, I think it will make sense. Like, I don't think it's going to be something that they don't think is going to fit in the game. I think it is something that it's going to uplift Cornucopias very, very quickly, and it's going to get a lot of eyes on Cornucopias. But I can't say exactly, because there's a lot of research and testing going on. I don't know when they're going to know when it's going to happen.
I almost, when I listen to that clip, Eddie, I almost get kind of goosebumps because it came at the end of, that was the very end of the live. And I know everyone watched it, and it feels like, to me watching that, Josh and David have a secret, that it's a big secret. They are giddy about this secret because if you listen to the way they talk about it, it's going to get a lot of eyes on, and it's going to uplift the game very quickly. So like, I mean, like, I don't, like, maybe they solved global warming or something. Like, I don't, like, what do you think cornucopias solve global warming, and then that's that's going to get a lot of press? I don't know. Like, what do you think it is?
Well, I don't even know what the process is to convert salt water into fresh water, but maybe they've also been able to use that technology to maybe run cars on water. I have no idea. Maybe that, I don't know, but it's just like, it's very interesting. I mean, what I'm really more leaning towards is maybe an Epic Games release. Maybe, who knows? That's kind of where my
But we
mind
know
goes.
that's coming. So, but and it
Right,
has to do with desalination.
right.
And he said, what you think it is, it won't. It's not that. So only crazy answers, Eddie.
Well,
I think it's that they are going to have in game that you can desalinate your tears and turn it into drinking water. That is my guess. Do you have a crazy, unlikely guess?
well, it's interesting about the process of it being done, which means it's going to be a very intricate thing in the game. I'm also makes me also think about, you know, how much of the game is also going to be outside of the bubbles as well,
Hmm.
as well, because what they
We're
obviously we know
learning more and
now
more.
about,
It will
yeah,
be.
we're
Yeah.
learning more about the lore. We know about the Terra people, the people who are, I would call them Terran, I guess is
Yeah.
would be their nationality, right? I guess
Terrans. Yeah.
Terrans, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, and how they are surviving through with using gas masks, because they have to,
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's issues with the air, and they have to also be able to learn how to convert
Yeah.
that water because they need to survive,
Right.
right? So,
Yeah. I mean, I
uh,
had theorized stuff that it was like that for them to survive down there, they would have to be able to either pull water from the ground or pull water from the air. Because like if
mm,
there's if the whole ocean's evaporated, there's probably not a lot of standing water. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but in terms of the news, because like he said, he talked about more eyes and it getting a lot more traction into cornucopia. That's why it
which
makes me
sounds like
think that
marketing,
there's
right? It
right.
sounds like yeah.
Well, exactly. There's a lot more marketing, a lot more exposure, which that's why it almost feels like it's going to be like an epic launcher type of thing, maybe, because there are games out there that are in test modes that are on on the Epic launcher, and so that's something,
Yeah.
that's why I'm leaning towards that.
I think you're thinking too
Um,
small. I think it's cornucopious
too
bottled water
small.
for sale in
Well,
supermarkets.
yeah, we're gonna be
Desalinated from the metaverse and shipped to supermarkets everywhere in drinking water bottles.
hey, if Sneck can do it, cornucopias can do it. All right.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Did they ever actually make a energy drink?
They have a drink. Yeah, well, yeah,
Oh my
absolutely they
god.
do. Yeah, it's out there. It's you can go out there and get it if you want to as well. Yeah, it's for sure. It's a real thing. Uh,
The snack and cornucopious energy drinks in supermarkets coming to you soon,
yeah.
all from the desalination of your tears in the game.
Yeah. And I just want to take the time again, just to, the reason I like Horside is another view. This is
Yeah,
overlooking
where you at?
their own district, uh, which is overlooking Silver Spring right now, which is in that direction. As all of this section right here is Silver Spring. Um, and it's just, again, you can't, obviously when I scan, you can't really see all the plots except for the ones that are closest to us. But just, again, just beautiful views. I like the fact that Silver Spring, even though it takes a lot to get up here from Silver Spring. That's why I think Quarryside is my favorite out of the three towns for this district. Um, because yeah, it's all the way up there, and then Riverbend is the other town for this district, which is the one we were at in terms of looking down from the waterfalls. Like, it's just Quarryside is just so nice. That's why I feel like Quarryside might be like a luxury location. I think I was talking to Racer about this. I just feel like Quarryside is just so secluded, hard to get to. It's covered by mountains. It's really hard. It's just I think there's the only way to get up here without using the train. I think is through M- Millfield, which is right. I'm looking at my map, which is
Yeah, but pretty soon
here.
you're gonna just be able to like rocket man your way up to the top of this.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't wait for that to happen. And
Yeah.
they were saying that you're gonna be able to fly like really, really
Yeah.
high up into the air. I'm curious what there seems to be no limitations unless it's just by fuel, right? Because then you could just basically climb them, get to the top of the mountain whenever you want, as long as you have the proper fuel.
Yeah, that's gonna be like the ultimate flex. Like you're so rich in in-game currency that you can just waste fuel going up to the top of the dome.
That'd be so sick. I can't wait for that, man.
All right, Eddie, you're the master of Solace locations, and you wanted me to see this area before we go. And you were definitely right. This is definitely a really visually stunning place.
Yeah, I mean, if you as you just kind of pan around, right, you can set, and even looking at the map, you can kind of see the main center kind of path running from north to south down this main path that we're on right now. You can kind of see the land plots kind of, perfectly planned out. You see the cliff views on our right hand side looking over Riverbend. We see these mountains that are towards the south. Again, I love this location in terms of how it looks, in terms of the scenery. It's I just there is a drawback to this. That's why I think this particular location is going to be more of a luxury location, because you will have to haul a lot of resources to this location. It's in a, it's, I will say, it's high in the cliffs, high in the mountains. Very little access points. The only way you can really get up here is through the metro station, which is right around here. And then you also have, you kind of have to go through Millfield, which is right around here, to get up to this location. And there might be some jumping locations around coming from Rocky Rapids, which Rocky Rapids is a different district. But it's like it's interesting in terms of like isolation and being separated from all the other towns out there.
The trees here are really interesting too. They're kind of they're not so tightly packed together.
Yeah, right. And it kind of adds, in my opinion, more of a nice clean look to it.
Yeah, because it's definitely more, I think it's more aesthetically pleasing than like a whole bunch of trees right in front of you.
Yeah, and it's like there's slightly, it's more spread out bushes, and it just looks more spread out. You will be able to see all of the buildings everywhere more often. You can kind of, if you scan, you'll see all the blue everywhere. So that you just have to imagine whether there's going to be buildings and alleys everywhere.
As you get closer to the entrance, obviously there's like the little path here, and there's tons of plots to your left and right.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that are like visually the best were, I think, the ones that you were right there on that ledge over where you just were.
Yeah, and it's just, again, there's not much in terms of fishing out here. There's not much in terms of, I mean, there are a few mining locations as you go further south. But Quarryside has the one benefit of owning that logging area, which is where we just were, which is right here. Mm-hmm. It's very secluded. It's not sure how that's going to benefit Riverbend and Silver Spring, so keep that in mind. But I think Quarryside's going to be more of a luxury location that you will have to haul a lot of resources to. But it's I love this place.
And these mountains almost look man-made. They almost look like the three giant pyramids.
Yeah, that's so true, Egypt. Actually. And so imagine you coming out of your location, and this is the mountainous area that you see. This looks really cool.
Eddie, we'll probably call that your closing thoughts. Do you have anything quick you wanted to add though before we call it a podcast?
Yeah, just
no more drip drops.
Yeah, no more drip drops. But definitely keep posting your opinions on what the team puts out. I think they definitely always listen. There will be a change, right? There is purple track coming out.
Yeah, Racer's already got the fastest lap time. He hasn't even raced it yet. He's already got the fastest lap time.
He hasn't raced it already, but we already know that the Kopi Cafe 105 is going to have the images of the purple track that's going to be coming out. So definitely keep an eye out for that. That's going to be really cool. We already got a sneak peek for people who didn't hang out for the watch party for Kopi Cafe 104, and also hang out for there's going to be the quantum raids that they're going to be doing too. So keep an eye out for that as well. So just a lot of Q&A, a lot of alpha coming out with David. So coming soon. So be on the lookout.
Eddie and I thank the Knights Guild for letting us be a part of their amazing community, and it's really, I don't think more than ever been more apparent how great it is. Like, this isn't me saying that it's better than any other community or like anything like that. I'm just saying that being in the Knights Guild is really special, and I'm really happy to be there. Really happy, and I know you are too, Eddie. Like, especially this last couple of weeks where we've been doing a lot of working together as a teams, and it's like, I know you've always said that this is like your first guild you've been in, and it's like, I mean, I don't think you could have a better guild experience than what you've had as in the Knights Guild, because it's just great people doing good work and trying to come together to do something that's big and fun and important to a lot of us, so
yeah. And it's all about sense of connection, and we all have the same common goal of having fun. I mean, that's what I get from everybody. They want to, yes, there's people that want to make money, but it's all about having fun. And again, what like PB said, it's having a direction, right? That we're all going in the right direction, in the same direction.
We're all rowing the boat in the same, definitely. Mm-hmm. And that's what it feels like. So, we always say it every week. So maybe sometimes it feels like it's like kind of glossed over as a point, but I really wanted to make sure we are always expressing that we're grateful to be part of the Knights Guild. And if you have any questions about that, you can definitely go to the website. You can join the Discord, whether you want to be in the guild or not. You can get that information. You can definitely watch the the interview we did with PB last week that talks about the guild staking that's now live. So all that stuff is really good and valuable if you're curious about the Knights Guild. We always thank Rob, Josh, and David, and I want to make sure we mention Matt this week too, because it was really valuable to a lot of people to hear him talk about the marketing plans and what's going on. And one thing 100%. He said that he can't, there's stuff a lot he still can't share, which is always the case. But what he did share, and if there's much more than that, that's really exciting. So, thanks for all the hard work that you guys are doing.
1,000%.
Finally, please like and subscribe to Around the Corn's YouTube channel so you don't miss next week's episode, where hopefully we will be probably talking about the purple track and maybe flying into the side of the mountains with our jetpacks. All right, Eddie, I'm going to go desalinate some water and try to figure out what's going on in Cornucopias.
Yeah, I'm still walking around Corey's side, just showing if you're still showing it here. I'm still just trying to like showcase this area just again, like use this resource if you're not able to play the game right now. Like we're walking around here. I know Kopi Cafe is also doing the same thing, and they were actually looking around Timber Creek last time. So we're just trying to showcase to as many people as possible who can't get into the game yet.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it week after week. So definitely tune in. And if you're don't have time to watch, put us on while you're playing. If you can get in the game, you can play us on your phone. Just listen to us in the background, or you can, if you have a good enough computer, you can listen to us on your computer while you're playing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Eddie. I'll see you next week, man.
All right. Adios. Peace.
Pew 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 pew